This tutorial will deal with the creation and editing of consumable items. As the name suggests, stock and order items are the things that the business sells or buys or makes. The application differentiates between the types of order item. In particular, stock items are any physical goods which are either sold by the business, made by the business, or purchased by the business for incorporation into its products or for resale. These items are stock controlled, so stock quantities will be updated when these items are dispatched, when these items are used in the completion of a works order, or when these items are received from a supplier and a goods received note has been generated. Service items are services that are sold or purchased by the business and they are not stock controlled. Consumable items are any goods or services that are purchased by the business for consumption within the business itself, including, for example, rent, rates, insurances, safety wear, gas, electricity, machine oils, and spare parts. Consumable items are not stock controlled. Stock and service item creation and editing are dealt with in separate tutorials. This video tutorial will deal with the creation and editing of consumable items. So, having selected stock and order items, new item, consumable item, we are presented with a general input form that includes short name or stock code, up to 9 characters, in this instance a stock code for petrol used by company vehicles, a full name and an extended description if required. We need to select the correct VAT rate for this item to ensure that it is accurately reported in our VAT returns, and in terms of sales items to make sure that the VAT is correctly entered on any sales invoices. We then assign a default expense account for this consumable item. This will appear on the Processing Supplier Invoices page. For consumable items, this will override any default that has been set up on the supplier account. For example, if a number of consumable items have been bought from the same supplier, each item will have a specific default expense code, and the cost will be correctly allocated to the specific expense account. If the cost, quarterly rent or rates for example, is likely to cover more than 1 month, clicking here sets the item as prepaid consumable, and on the processing of the supplier invoice will be presented with a start and end date to which the cost will be allocated month by month in the business accounts. That's all that's necessary for the setup of a consumable item. But if we want to identify a particular supplier for this consumable item, then we can do so on the Suppliers tab, and if we enter a unit price and pack size or unit of measure, these will be retrieved from the stock record and be presented as defaults when processing a supplier invoice. We can then create to complete the process of setting up the consumable item. We can search for and edit that consumable at any time and change any of the entries in the general fields or the suppliers fields. When we are confident that the alterations are correct, we click Update.